So we have already discussed Mendelian monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. And in the monohybrid cross you have seen the F2 ratio, phenotypic ratio 3:1, genotypic ratio 1:2:1. And in the dihybrid cross you have seen the F2 phenotypic ratio 9:3:3:1. And Mendel has a lot of explanation for this after his crosses. And after his monohybrid crosses, he has developed two laws of principles of inheritance that we had discussed already, the law of dominance and law of segregation. And after the dihybrid cross, Mendel has formulated his third law, law of independent assortment. Before that, Mendel concluded that in a dihybrid ratio, the result of dihybrid F2 ratio is 9:3:3:1. According to Mendel, we get this ratio by the simple multiplication of monohybrid ratio. Okay, this is what is 3:1 ratio multiplied with the 3:1 ratio. When two monohybrid characters are taken separately, if we are doing two monohybrid crosses separately, we get 3:1 ratio. If these are multiplied, we get the dihybrid ratio according to Mendel. This is what you have seen in the case of what? The dihybrid cross by Mendel. For example, Mendel, if the first character, round and wrinkle, if it was taken separately, we will get 3:1 ratio of what? 3 round is to 1 wrinkle. 3:1 ratio of round and wrinkle. Similarly, if we take the seed color, 3 yellow is to 1 green, we get the F2 ratio. If it's monohybrid process, separate monohybrid process we conduct means for seed shape we get 3 round, 1 wrinkle. For seed color we get 3 yellow, 1 green. Okay, and this way, see, when these two are multiplied, we get this 9:3:3:1 ratio. Just listen here, 3 round into 3 yellow. How many are round yellow? 9 are round yellow. Okay, so 9 round yellow. Okay, then second case, if it's round with green, 3 into 1. Okay, 1 into 3. How many are round green? 3 round green. Okay, so just listen, round green. How many are there? 3 into 1. Total 3 round green. The next case, how many are wrinkled yellow? 1 into 3. 3 wrinkled yellow. Okay, 3 wrinkled yellow. So the next last case, how many are wrinkled green? 1 into 1. 1 wrinkled green. Okay, so this is just a multiplication of two monohybrid ratios. The 9:3:3:1 ratio. If we are considering this as two separate monohybrid crosses, we get 3:1 ratio for this and 3:1 ratio for the other cross. Whereas when we combine it, there is no any change. It is just getting us a multiplied ratio 9:3:3:1. This is what Mendel concluded after this dihybrid cross. So he has formulated his third law from this concept. The third law of Mendel was law of independent assortment. The third law of Mendel, law of, what is the first law? Law of dominance. Okay, law of dominance. Second law, law of segregation. Okay, this led to gamete formation. What happened to the allelic pair? Okay, the third law is law of independent assortment. So it was developed after dihybrid cross. So it is related to what? It is related to what? Dihybrid cross. Law of independent assortment. The last law that only we need to discuss. The other laws we have already discussed. Okay, what the law of independent assortment says. Okay, What is the law of independent assortment? Yeah, the law of independent assortment says that in a dihybrid, that means when two characters are taken together, that means two characters mean four traits are combined. Okay, two characters mean how many traits are there? Four traits. So in a dihybrid, when two characters are considered together, otherwise when four traits are combined in a dihybrid, the assortment of one character is independent of the other. Okay, that is what the law states. That is, the assortment of the distribution of one character is independent of the other character. That means one pair of traits assortment never influence the assortment of other pair of trait independent of other character. That is why Mendel told we get what? 3:1 ratio multiplied. If seed shape is having an influence on seed yellow, this will never go as an independent monohybrid ratio and we will never get 9:3:3:1 ratio. This is what happened to other scientists when they did similar experiments, they didn't get the ratio of Mendel because they never found independent assortment. That what we will discuss later. Anyway, according to Mendel, the concept is independent assortment. Mendel has formulated the law of independent assortment after the dihybrid cross. That means in a dihybrid, when two characters are combined, when we take two characters combined, the assortment of one character is independent of the other. That means the 3:1 ratio assortment of seed shape is never influencing the 3:1 ratio assortment of the seed color. Both go in 3:1 ratio. So we get a multiplied ratio 9:3:3:1. This is what the law states. One character goes independent of the other. But later this is greatly criticized by the concept linkage. And linkage versus independent assortment, we have a separate topic. That time we will discuss it. I think these three laws are clear for you. Law of dominance, law of segregation and law of independent assortment. All these three laws together we can say Mendel's principles of inheritance. Okay, this together we call principles of inheritance by Mendel. This is a great contribution by Mendel. Even though many of them were criticized, this is considered as a pioneer attempt in genetics. And the most criticized law among this is law of independent assortment. The other two laws are more or less accepted. This is greatly criticized later by other scientists. Okay. So after his monohybrid process, the first two laws. After the dihybrid cross, that the third law, law of independent assortment. Okay, any doubt? Otherwise, we move on to another small concept today, then test cross. Okay, so Mendelian monohybrid cross we have completed. Mendelian dihybrid cross with Punnett square work we have completed. And you can just work out from home and you can just write the class note. And I will give the assignment and other works, class works as PDF. And if you have any doubt, ask me and we will come in video class, okay, online class for doubt clearance. And here we are moving to the next simple session, test cross. From the name itself you can understand what is a test cross. Okay, tell me what is meant by a test cross. Here itself it is there. It is carried out to test. Okay, test something. You know, there are four, okay, just we take one Mendel character, tall. Okay, the tall has, the phenotype tall has two genotypic expressions. Which are they? According to Mendel, capital T is tall and also capital T small t is tall. Okay, but by looking the plant, by morphological appearance, we cannot say whether the plant is genotypically this homozygous or heterozygous. We have no any idea whether the plant is in this configuration or this configuration by external link. Then how can you test it? How can, if at all plant is given to you, how can you test whether it is homozygous stall or heterozygous stall is by a test cross. So what is the aim of the test cross? A test cross is conducted to determine the genotype of the dominant trait. Okay, to determine the genotype. Phenotype we are clear because we can see it as tall or dwarf, but genotype we cannot say. If it is a dwarf, we can tell the genotype because there is single genotype. Okay, here for dominant trait, in order to find out the genotype, we have only way, that is one way, that is test cross. So how can you define a test cross? A test cross is a cross carried out to identify or to determine the genotype of a dominant trait. Okay, then what may be this cross? Very simple. We have only one way. We already know the genotype of only one. Okay, suppose the case violet and white flower. A plant with violet flower is given to you. Okay, you don't know whether it is capital W combination or capital W small w combination. But a plant with white flower, you know it is small w combination. Which is familiar to us is what? The genotype of what? The recessive one. So we have only one way. In test cross, we are crossing the plant. I mean, which we want to identify? The genotype is the dominant trait. Okay, we don't know what type of violet plant is. So the violet flowered plant, we are crossing it with the white flowered plant. This is what is test cross. Crossing with the recessive. So the test cross is done to determine the genotype of the dominant trait. Here violet. Okay, the only possible method is cross it with the white. Okay, white we already know. Okay, violet only we have doubt. Therefore, the how it is done. Okay, so I will just show your textbook test cross here. So, if violet is capital W, that means if violet is homozygous, it will produce both the gametes capital W. So, when it is crossed with the recessive, here I show, when it is crossed with the recessive, this will produce what? Small w. Therefore, you are very familiar. If the plant is homozygous, it will produce all the progeny with. So, you are very clear. If the plant is homozygous, when it is crossed with the recessive, it will produce all the progeny with capital W, small w. That is, all the members will be what? With violet flowers. Okay, all violet. Suppose if the genotype of the plant is capital W, small w, what will be the case? It will produce the gametes like this. When it is crossed with recessive, the gametes are small w. So here it will produce what? Tell me, what is the thing? The capital W and one is small w. So here will be capital W, small w, capital W, small w, small w, small w. That means in the progeny, 50% of them will be violet flowered, whereas 50% will be white flowered. So simple sense, don't make it confused. In simple sense, in order to understand the violet flowered plant is whether WW or W small w, we have only one way. The testing is done by crossing it with the recessive. And if it is capital W, homozygous violet, it will produce all the progeny violet flowered. And if it is heterozygous violet, it will produce 50% of the progeny violet flowered, 50% with the white flower. That means 1:1 ratio. Okay. Similarly, there is test cross for Dihybrid also. We can carry out test cross for dihybrid ratio, dihybrid also. If it's dihybrid test cross, you want me, okay, this is clear I think. Okay, anyway, the same figure is given in your textbook. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, simple only, but in the diagram it's giving little bit confusion. So the sense is only this one. A test cross is carried out to find out the genotype of the dominant trait, whether it is homozygous or heterozygous. If it is homozygous, in test cross, it gives all of them dominant, all violets. And if it is heterozygous, in test cross, it gives 50-50 dominant and recessive trait. 1:1 ratio. So what is a test cross? A cross with the recessive. Why is recessive used here? In order to cross, why we use recessive trait here? Because recessive trait only we are sure what the genotype is. This genotype is homozygous recessive. We have no any confusion. Okay, so we are using that trait for test cross. I think the test cross is clear for you. Okay, and if it's a dihybrid test cross, how will be the same symbol we use? Okay, the same case, previous example we use. Okay, the RRYY case, and if either this case or this case, how will you understand? All other case, how we understand whether it is okay this way or that way, homozygous or heterozygous. Okay, in a test cross we cross it with what? Double recessive. We cross it with double recessive. Okay, and if it is here, all of them round yellow. All of them round yellow means it is homozygous. And here it is 50% round yellow and 50% wrinkled green means that is what? For that we will just show the cross if it's needed. Okay, not 50%. We will, okay, out of that 1:1:1:1 is the ratio. So the first combination is this will give all the four types of gametes RY, then capital R, small r, small y. This will give all the four types of gametes. Okay, whereas the other one give only one type of gamete, which is that the other one give only small r, small y gamete. And when we write the combination, how will be the combination? One will be capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, small y. All the possible types are here. All genotypes are here in 1:1:1:1 ratio. That means here round yellow is there 1. Then round green is there 1. Round green is there 1. Then wrinkled yellow 1. And then one wrinkled green. Okay, so in a dihybrid test cross, if it's heterozygous, the ratio will be 1:1:1:1:1. This is also the same multiplication of the monohybrid test cross ratio, 1:1:1:1. Okay, the same thing, 1:1:1:1. So all four characters in the F2 appeared here in the test cross, because we are crossing it with double recessive into dihybrid. Okay, this is how we work out the test cross. So what is a test cross? The cross carried out to test the genotype of the dominant. It is carried out in both monohybrid and also in dihybrid. In any case, it is carried out by crossing it with the recessive. The recessive is used because we know the genotype of the recessive. We have no any doubt for that recessive genotype. So it is a very easy cross, a test process. Okay. So its notes I will give us classwork, assignment separately will be given, and you can prepare the class note at home. Okay. Thank you.